morning, beautiful. It's great to see you. Lovely to be here. Inside, most definitely inside on a chilly day. I hope you saw the photo from the top of the hill. It's quite beautiful. It never ceases to be beautiful, no matter what the skies and the wind and whatever are doing. It's gorgeous. So, it's grey, but it's cold and it's beautiful. So we're inside with rocks, of course, today. We have to be inside with rocks because we can't be outside. It's spitting, there's a little bit of rain and, so we're in here. Misty, good morning. Yay. Linda, good morning. Hello, it's beautiful to see you. Playing with the rock quartz, rose quartz, I meant to say. This is a piece that I've had for a long time. It came to me with that big piece there. That's actually a 20 kilo chunk. They all came from South Africa. There's a chap who used to go over to South Africa and fill up half a container with the stuff and sell it at really low prices, like $6 a kilo. And he came and he bought some to a meditation group that was running at our house at the time. And that big piece and its friends came, and so did this. So, rock quartz, rose quartz. There you go. The rose, by the way, is titanium. It is quartz, but the titanium makes it pink. And that's why it's mined, because it's titanium ore. Who would know? So there it is. It's beautiful. Something else beautiful. This is real citrine. Not amethyst that's been heated, which makes it go yellow. Morning, Jasmine. And I mean, it can be artificially heated or it can be heated by the earth. But that's, that really orangey citrine is amethyst that's had a happening. This is kind of smoky citrine, completely different beast. And, it's had some breakages. Obviously, there's a big point here that broke, and it's a bit self-healed. And there's one here that completely broke off. So, it's had an event, this cluster, but it's still beautiful. And it very definitely put its hand up to say, I want to come on today. I thought of it yesterday, but the answer was no. So here it is today, being beautiful, being smoky citrine for us. Last but not least, something we haven't seen for ages is this little quartz sphere. This is one of the early, when I say early, this is one of the first things that I bought for myself. And you can see it's got a line right through it there of little inclusions. It's pretty clear. Hi, Sonshia. Yeah, it was a revelation to me too. Rose quartz is titanium ore. So here it is. It's pretty transparent and it's got this line through it. Yeah, natural citrine is pale or smoky. Quite right. So, yeah, it just depends. And they're all beautiful. And I love ametrine, where you get the two together. It's just beautiful stuff. So, there we are. And look, here I am upside down in the quartz. So, I'm not sure we needed to see that, but that's what we've got. So, today I want to talk about being in the unknown. And it's really, the idea came to me because of a comment that Julian made on one of my lives the other day. It was yesterday, but it was an earlier live. And I thought this is a really good topic because most of us, one way or another, are living in the unknown right now because our familiar past is gone and we've more or less got used to the idea, that the familiar past is gone. Okay, my life as I used to know it is over. And I have what I have now, and I've sort of adapted to that, but it's uncomfortable. And I don't know what's really coming next. I can't predict my future with any accuracy, right? And that's very uncomfortable for most of us. Now, why is that so uncomfortable? Well, Nora, good morning. Hello, honey. Why is it uncomfortable? Because if you are a caveman living in a cave and you depend upon being able to go out certain places to get food and you need shelter to stay away from the cold and, all of these things that become known to you are about how you survive. And if they go away, chances are you're going to die or suffer or have a bad experience. So I know I'm being a bit blatant and a bit sort of blunt instrument, but that's why we get so scared about being in the unknown. Morning, John. I can see your little face up there. Facebook hasn't told me you're on, but I can see you. Great to have you with us. So we get stressed when we can't predict the future, because that survival response, that, I can't predict it, goes off in us. Oh, Linda, that's sweet. Hi, Julian, I can see you there. We're talking about uncertainty, and then your comment inspired me in this today. Well, yesterday, but inspired me to talk about it today. So, really, that's why we get scared. And to go further than that, to encompass another aspect of this, and again, it was part of your comment, Julian. When you think you can more or less predict your life, you more or less know what to expect, and then something comes along that looks like something bad that happened to you another time. And the brain, quite without your help, latches onto the new stimulus, the new thing, the new possibility, and says, that looks like the other thing that happened. I need to be scared because that was bad and I don't want it to happen again. And again, then, if it was bad enough, or even it was just a little bit, whatever it was, that old response, the old experience, plays again in our brain and our body. Oh, bless you, Sonchia. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining us when you can. So this is why, right? It's a combination of losing the things that we normally have around us, which tell us who we are and what to expect and how everything is going to be, and then having other things come in to which our brain says, oh, that's potentially dangerous, or that's certainly dangerous. And between it all, we get stressed, right? And of course, when you get stressed, frightened, depressed, anxious, angry, resentful, whatever, unworthy, lackful, all of those states, if you're feeling like that, all of those states mean that your brain is firing incoherently. Now, let me explain what that means. When you are relaxed, which you hopefully are more or less now, but whatever, when you are relaxed, your brain is in beta brainwaves. And beta brainwaves are alert, aware consciousness. And if you're relaxed, you're in low beta. And from memory, that's like 13 to 15 cycles a second. And you do that when you're reading, when you're watching the television, you can actually end up in alpha. You're practically hypnotized. If you're paying attention to something, you're in low beta. Fine, dandy. If you, and I know I've said this before, and I just completely borrowed this from Joe Dispenza because it's a great example, and I totally learned this from him. Credit to my hero. If I was to say to you, look, there's going to be a test at the end of this live and we can't stop until you pass the test, then you would perk up, you would pay attention, right? It's like, oh my God, I got things to do, I got to pass this test. So it's like, Or if you're going to perform in front of an audience, some people would go into really high stress about that, but if you're used to performing, you just get a bit keyed up and excited and your body, whoa, this is cool. And that's about, I think, I got this right, about 25 cycles a second is moderate beta. But when you lose your rag, when you get really scared, when you're really depressed, or even moderately depressed, when you're in one of those altered states of consciousness, when you're in grief or loss or sorrow or bitterness or whatever, you're in high beta. In high beta, the brain's about 50 cycles a second. It's twice as fast. Yeah, your brain is on fire and your breathing is shallow. Absolutely, Linda, because you're in survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, the brain is firing very fast because it is literally looking and listening and smelling and feeling and tasting for danger everywhere. And it's going, oh my God, where is the Tyrannosaurus Rex? I can hear that roar. I heard that footfall and I got to look for this thing and I can't stop looking until I see it so I know which way to run. And when the brain is in that state, so all these different compartments in the brain are firing very quickly and very incoherently. They're not talking to each other. The communities of neurons are not communicating. They're all, they're like a massive orchestra where everybody's playing their own tune. There's no conductor, there's no beat, there's no rhythm, there's nothing. It makes a cacophony. And yet your breathing gets shallow because you're just running on stress hormones. And when that incoherent thing happens and all the stress hormones pour, remember the signal, the adrenal hormones just race through your body. They shut down your gut because digestion, while it's very necessary for health and recovery and repair, is not necessarily necessary for running away or fighting. So we divert energy to our limbs so we can run or we can fight. And instead of having blood supply to the front of the brain where you can think and you can focus, you can chill out, all the energy goes to the animal brain. Hi, Lisa, honey! Goes to the animal brain and gets you ready to fight, flee, or freeze. That's it, and that's what happens. And I have heard about people talking about their body feeling on fire. Not so much the brain on fire. It's like there's an electrical storm going on in there. I would guess that's what the story is. But, if you have these stress hormones running over and over through the body, the stress actually gets stuck in the body. Never mind the chemical conditioning. And it does burn. It can burn. So and your thoughts make no real sense because they're all about yesterday, how awful that thing was, or how awful this thing is that's going to come to you. And you're right, it's complete chaos in there. So that's high beta. Enough about that. Really unpleasant state to be in. So you're out of the present moment. Thank you, Linda, for triggering me to go to the next thought before, I've spent the whole time talking about that. That whole state of survival is about what happened in the past that you need to run away from or react to or fight in the future. Yeah, and your body feels cold because your peripheral circulation is kind of, it's all about being able to fight or flee. I get cold too if I get really stressed. Hi, Heather, great to see you. I feel it, I understand it now. Oh, gee, I've gone off again. I need to manage this. So you got to get out of that state. And to get out of that state, you got to get into the present moment. You got to yank your awareness away from, oh my God, that was so awful and it's going to happen again. And out of the, oh my God, I got to run away from this and this is going to be terrible. And you got to come into now. And to do that, you got to slow your brain waves down. And part of the process, there's a number of ways to do this. In many ways as there are people because everyone's different. But to get out of that stressed, not here, worried about yesterday or worried about tomorrow state, you got to slow your brain waves down. You got to get out of 50 cycles a second and come down to 25 and then down to 30 to 15. And then you need to get into at least alpha, which is 11. Even better if you can get a theta, which is 8 cycles a second. The brain slows down, and if you do it right, instead of all the different compartments being out of order, like a bunch of musicians not playing together, there starts to be coherence, and the different compartments in the brain start to network together, they start to communicate, and then instead of having these wildly circling, painful and incoherent, crazy thoughts going on, there comes more quiet and more clarity. And one way to help yourself do this is to think, hang on a minute, the future that I want, and this requires a little bit of preparation because you got to know what the future is that you want. And it's funny how many of us are so fixated on the awful past and the potential for terribleness in the future that we don't actually know what we want. Hello, I've been there. It was a real effort to start putting my focus onto what I did want because there was so much in my brain that said, no, you can't have that. It's impossible. Forget it. It's hopeless. All of that. So that's the thing you got to do. You've actually got to take the risk inside yourself to look at what you desire in your future. And even if you have no idea what that looks like and sounds like and tastes like and smells like and feels like, and notice I'm using all of the senses, you must know how it is you want to feel because everybody knows they want to feel better. It's why we want our lives to be different. We want to feel differently. So forgetting the impossibilities, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? Really? Despite all the, you can't have that, that goes on inside your head. How do you want to feel? And that's why it's a risk to even look at this, because of all the thing, and that says, no, you can't have that. You've tried that. You've tried it for so long. It's impossible. Don't try it again, because it's just going to be more pain and more disappointment. But unless you start to put your attention on something that you want, you're going to keep looking at what you don't want. And we already know that's not doing you any good, because your brain's incoherent, you're pouring stress hormones, and you're conditioning your body for disease. That's just how it works. I know. I'm in the process of reversing 40 mumble years of doing that unconsciously. It's a wonderful thing to be doing. Thank heavens I know how to do it. So once you know what you want to feel, and maybe, you want to feel peaceful. You want to feel free to express who you really are. You want to feel love, whatever that actually means. Oh my God. You want to feel connection. You want to feel joy. What? You want to feel whole. You want to feel grateful because you received whatever it was that you thought you desired. What do you actually want to feel? Dare to get specific about that. And I know it feels like a dare. I really do. Because it feels so impossible. Because you feel so awful. But until you know what you want, you can't have it. Right? So whatever that thing is, and you will know, you may not want to know that you know, but you will know. Simple. Put your awareness in your heart. You know what's coming next. I mean, the physical awareness. You don't have to feel good about this. Just do it. And I'm not saying, come on, you must. I'm saying, please, for yourself, because I know how this feels, and I know how I want you to feel. I want you to have this experience. So put your heart, put your attention in your physical heart, behind your breastbone, right? Yeah, there's a thumpy thing a little bit off to the left, and but this is your heart center. And you can imagine it as a flower or a sun or however, but even just as a glowing ball of light. Whatever works for you, put your attention there. Give it a rub, because that always helps me put my attention there. And now, bring your breath in and out of that space. Breathe in and out of your heart. I know it's a bit weird, but give it a go. Just give it a go. And it's pretty natural for us to start breathing in and out in front of us. So, you breathe in and you imagine the breath coming in here, and you breathe out and you imagine it going out again. So just do that. And you can imagine, if you like, that the breath that you're breathing in is coming from something beautiful. Maybe it's coming from a sunrise. Maybe it's coming from universal heart. Whatever. It's coming from somewhere, and it's love, or it's healing, or it's joy, or it's peace, or it's freedom, or the outcome that you want, how that feels. Yay, it happened perfectly. However you want to feel. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Now, if you want to take this further, here's fun for you. As you breathe it in the front of you, breathe it in the back of your heart too. Isn't that cool? What that does is it fires more of the spatial sense of your hindbrain, and I'm not going to talk about that because I'll fall into the fact that I feel this more than I know it, but there's a really good reason for doing it spatially. You can, if you get inventive, you can breathe in from all around you. Imagine breathing in love or wholeness or gratitude from all around you. Isn't that a nice feeling? The very thing that you desire is all around you, and you're breathing it in. And as you breathe it out, it's just like releasing a wave of the same thing out to the universal hands and hearts that are holding it, and then they're going to send it back to you as you breathe in again. So you get to give the gratitude and the love and the peace and whatever it is to the universal heart, the universal mind, which amplifies it for you and sends it back to you. And before you know it, you're breathing in and out of the universal heart, whatever it is that you desire. And you feel, because you are putting your attention on this one thing, your brain starts to get calmer. And you might even start to feel the feeling, if you persist with it, and your brain will wander a bit. And you bring it back to your heart and the feeling and the awareness that you are breathing it in from all around you. And there is something all around you that is helping you and supplying you with that very feeling, that very state of being that you desire to inhabit ahead of time, before your creation has happened. But you're inhabiting the space of being abundant or whole or peaceful or well or whatever it is, right in the middle of your lack and your sickness and the chaos and everything else. You have changed your state independent of your circumstances. If you persist with this, you will do that. And that is the way to create a future that you can't see yet. You embody it first. And it's nonsense. It's nonsense because you can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it, you can't feel it, you can't smell it. It's not there except that you are making it real by breathing it in and out of your heart. That's why it's nonsense, because it's not anything you can see with your senses. It's not there, but it's in the unified field that you're connecting to through your heart, because all possibilities exist there. All possibilities. If there are limitless, infinite possibilities in the unified field, don't you think there's just one where you're going to feel the way you want to feel? If it's there, you can breathe that possibility in and out of your heart. And you don't need to know what that possibility looks like and smells like and tastes like and touches like and, you just need to know how it feels. Morning, Deborah. It's great to see you. That's what we can do. That is how you can create your future now. But you've got to realize it's going to feel weird because you're saying, I feel peaceful. Oh my God, I feel it now. My God, I actually feel peaceful. And the madness is still all around me, but I changed my state. And this is one way you can do it. It takes an effort. It doesn't feel sensible. It goes against our conditioning that something outside of us has to change for something inside of us to be different. Now you're taking the power back and saying, no, I get to choose my state independent of what's going on around me. This is our power. This is what we can do. So, there you go. That's what I wanted to share with you today. It's my practice, one way or another. I don't necessarily do it this way, but this is what I am doing every single day. And all I can say is it's so worth the effort. The best way to predict your future, as Joe Dispenza says, is to create it. And this is one way to create it. Big love. I will see you tomorrow. And if you're on in 3.5 hours, I will see you to catch you up on what our Sang Marie is doing in the Gambia. He's doing wonderfully well. But I know he'd love to hear from you. So, until next time, bye-bye.